Gotta hit you with one of these, bro, because I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Or inappropriate content and language that may not be suitable for all audiences, including children.
Watch the whole video.
The purpose of this video is to educate and inform parents and communities about the potential dangers that children may face online, and to provide insight on those who may cause these dangers. It's important to note that,
Bro, if you have kids, bro, check their phone. Check their phone.
the individuals depicted in this video are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and should not be harassed or harmed based on their actions as depicted in this video.
With her parents' credit card, and it was an hour and a half Uber, and we ended up Ubering them. And what really makes this case even worse is the fact that this guy had a fake name on the chatting website that he was talking to the decoy. He had no ID on him. So right then and there, it shows how serious it could have been if it was a real 13-year-old. He could have showed up, and nobody would have knew who he was, and he probably could have got away with anything he wanted. So thank God it was us that showed up and not a real 13-year-old. And also, when this guy was talking to the decoy, he was wanting to party with the decoy, and he also asked her to invite a friend or a relative around the same age. So he asked to hang out with two 13-year-olds. And later on, we found out that not only did he bring weed and Molly, but the guy brought meth and two pre-rolled blunts that were laced with an unknown substance. So this guy's intentions were very, very bad, and we knew about it going into it, how bad it was. So it really had us fired up.
Cuz would try to turn up.
But yeah, just wanted to fill you guys in before we watch this video.
He was trying to turn up. So record this on the iPad, didn't it? No, they ain't chilling outside Walmart.
Yo, Rashad. What's up, bro? What's up, man? What you doing, bro?
Man, shit, what's up?
What's up? Why you here?
Why am I here?
Yeah.
No reason why.
I mean, come on.
Bro, I don't know what...
I mean, we know.
Nah, bro,
I'm
gonna be honest, I was finna meet somebody, but I ain't even finna do that.
Why? Because the age?
Bro, I ain't even feel right, and I told her that. But
you
how
still
far
there?
did you travel? Here's the thing. I just want to let you know before the cops get here. No, I'm saying. Just have a conversation.
No, I don't.
You just have a conversation.
The cops
Where you
don't
gonna
have to
go?
come.
You
They
don't
don't
have a
have to try to
car.
tell you.
Bro, I'm not doing that, bro.
But you already. This is our. Listen, we have everything, bro. We have everything.
Okay.
Let's have a talk. Let's talk, and then this will go smooth.
Bro,
listen. We know your Uber. Your Uber.
Okay,
hey, bro,
okay.
Hey, bro, you already came an hour and a half, cuz. Hour and a half. Hour, bro. Hour and a half. And he's stuttering.
The address too. You want me to call?
Yeah, that's fine.
Run like
No, I'm gonna call.
Okay, call her then.
All right. What about your dad?
Bro, my parents is dead.
Your mom died, and your dad's alive.
I don't want to talk.
Yes. Listen.
But listen, I know everything.
Okay, I know you do. And I got everything too. But
so then chill and just talk. That's your best bet.
No, because
you're doing something that's fucked up.
Yes, I know.
I know you know. So just talk and you talk to us.
Okay,
That's all I'm asking, dude.
Okay, listen. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yes. Listen.
But listen, I know everything.
Okay, I know you do.
I mess it up, y'all. I mess it up.
Like you want to run this?
No. Let me first of all let me apologize. Okay.
To who?
To about the whole situation. I felt like this was something going on.
Well, I know. So sit here and talk, have a conversation. I know you fucked up, but explain. What you don't understand what the biggest problem is? You could have ruined a child's life.
Yes, sir. I understand. And
you don't understand because you want to show it up if you understand.
Yes, sir. And like I said, that's why I say I apologize, because in my gut feeling, and
in my gut.
This was really messed up. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. That's
I know it is messed up. That's why we're here.
Okay,
because there's tons of child out there that do this.
Can we finish this conversation?
No, we're not gonna rush this.
Listen, this ain't something to rush.
It took an hour and a half to get here, bro.
We can have the cops here in 5 minutes.
Yes, sir.
And we'll follow you, and they're gonna arrest you, and you're gonna be labeled as.
Okay, I don't want that.
You don't want that, so then stop telling us to rush this. And we're gonna go through, because I want to understand why a 30-year-old man Ubers an hour and a half to hang out with a 13-year-old.
I don't know, sir. This.
Have you done this before?
No, sir. I have not. I promise you, I have not, sir. I have not.
How am I supposed to believe that when you Uber an hour and a half?
I didn't. I never did this before. I promise. I promise you, sir. I
don't know what to say.
So
I never
walked over here. We tried staying away inside, but listen, here's the thing. You gotta own up to what you're doing, and you gotta explain this.
Okay, now I'm gonna explain to you. And I promise, sir. I promise I ain't gonna do this no more. Please.
I mean, think about this.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
The last 10 or 15 guys we've caught in the past couple months, you don't think they probably said the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, this
I shouldn't have done this. This is my first time.
Covered around so bad.
I'm sorry.
But who are you sorry to?
To
all the parents out there that had to worry about their kids on devices?
Doesn't seem like you give a shit at all.
You can walk away, and I'm gonna signal.
No.
I would have slapped 5 for folks.
Then talk.
I'm talking.
No, you're not. You're saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir."
Okay, what do you want to talk about?
I want you to explain yourself through these chats.
Okay. Listen. Okay, I got my phone. I don't have my phone on. You see?
You can. It don't matter. Yeah.
Okay, and we be talking.
What's your phone got to do with it?
I'm sorry.
You say on here
he pulled that phone out.
You wanted to pick her up and with her friend, right? A 13-year-old?
No, sir.
You didn't say that?
I did, but
that's not what you want now?
Yeah, that's not what I want. No, sir.
You didn't say that you asked her if she wanted to have the condom or raw?
No, sir.
You didn't say that?
No, sir.
So I'm a liar.
I'm not saying you lying, sir, but I don't.
Did you say that
or did you not?
No, I did not.
So do we have to pull up the chats?
No, sir. Listen, a lot of times that's not just me using my phone in that app. I'm telling you, I promise you, I do have a brother that does use my app too. I promise you, sir, that was probably not me.
So now you're blaming. You're gonna.
No, I'm not blaming.
So now you're selling out your brother.
No, my brother does that.
So that's not you?
Yeah, that's me. He does use
So
my
why are you
address.
an hour
Okay,
and a
That's
half
listen,
not
away?
you sitting
Why are
next to
you here?
13-year-olds?
It's not your brother.
listen. I can call my brother and he can
I
tell you too.
know that
Like
ain't
he
what I think
does
that
use my account too,
was.
sir. I'm being honest.
Yeah, but
I'm
you're
being
here,
honest.
not him.
Yeah, yes, sir. I know. And it's
No.
up
Why is it fucked up?
because I shouldn't have been here.
Why shouldn't you have been here?
I just shouldn't have been here. That's it. That's all.
Why though?
I
Police
just
pull
don't.
up,
I
see
shouldn't have
them
been here.
lights,
That's
bro.
all.
But why shouldn't you have been here?
You said you
I
were.
should have. I just told you why. Why? Because I know it's wrong, and
Why
I
is it
should have been
wrong?
You
I'm
wanted
trying
to
to get
get.
you to explain yourself. So
Sir,
it so
Police
goes
pull
through
up,
your
hell
head
on
because no one makes
high.
a mistake Ubering an hour and a half.
okay, sir. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
so
Can we
no,
finish?
I will if you talk
Can you finish?
instead of
Okay.
saying sorry and can
Okay.
we
What do you?
finish?
What,
I
what do
want
you
you to
want to?
explain yourself.
I just told you see the messages, so there's no point of
Yeah,
explaining
there is.
it.
That's the point.
Okay.
You're a
What
grown
you
man.
saying?
I needed the process in your
Okay.
head.
Okay. Process that. That is those whole conversation is f***ed up. It really is. It should never happen, and I'm explaining it to you.
So
I'm
I'm asking
explaining
you.
it.
I would
Okay.
eat your
Listen.
pussy all
Listen.
night too.
Cause
You said
Listen.
to a
it's
13-year-old,
much more
correct?
than just
No,
a
yes,
conversation.
but no. That was probably honestly
Cause
probably me, sir. 'Cause like I said, my brother does use my own phone too.
Bro, you know how
That's
ignorant
a
you sound right now? Because you
yes.
know we know you're lying. Come on, dog.
Listen, no, because I'm
So,
nervous,
so your
sir.
brother. So I know you're nervous. So
I
you're
would be.
saying your brother said I would eat your pussy all
Listen.
night.
I don't know what he all tells her. You feel me? Because
So
he
why'd
hears
you
her.
show up then? If it was him,
I don't know.
oh, you wanted to do it for him?
No,
You wanted to commit the felony for him?
no, no. I really didn't, sir. I really didn't, and I didn't
I
want.
don't
I
get
didn't
no
want. I
type
did. I'm
of.
cussing his out on the damn way here, like, bro.
Oh, so
No,
you're blaming your brother. This
no.
ain't
I'm not
fucking
blaming
funny.
my brother.
Like, this
No,
ain't
no,
funny.
no, no.
First
I'm
off,
not. No, sir. Listen, sirs. I'm not. Let me calm down, okay, sir.
you said I'd
Okay,
rather you
okay.
come here. So you would have wanted that 13-year-old to come to your house,
No, sir.
but you said it, right? Yes or no?
That I'm not saying that it was me. It could, like I said,
Profile
my
even
brother
have his own
does use
house.
my account too, so it could have been yes, it could have
You
been
want to
me.
use
And
condoms, or you want it raw? Is that you or your brother?
I don't know. Let me call him,
You don't
bro.
need to call your brother because you already know.
Listen, I don't.
You're a grown man. So you're
Okay.
saying your brother gets on your phone
Yeah, my brother used my account. Yes, he does.
and you guys talk to the same girl?
And he sends pics of yours.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, sir, that's probably a fake.
I need to watch this. If you're a parent, you need to watch this.
Calm down, sir.
I'm trying to be calm. I want to I want to talk to you like a
I could
human,
be
but
calm.
when you act like an ignorant person, I got to start acting a little ignorant.
Yes, sir.
I got to match your energy.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So if I talk to you all quiet and nice, you're just
so
going to talk
scared to
over
keep
me
looking.
and say a bunch of mumble jumble bullshit.
I'm not sure, but okay.
So let me like understand how a 30-year-old wants to come and hang out with a 13-year-old. Explain to me what is the thought behind it? You
Check
lonely?
these
You
out,
going
man.
through
Yeah,
something?
you
What's the
check these
problem?
out.
Why
Yeah,
13-year-old? Why 13-year-old?
Sir, listen, I lost all my. Listen, sir, I lost both my
Making
parents within a
excuses,
couple
bro.
months. Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, I was going through some things. Yes, I was kind of lonely. Not kind of.
So
I
when
am
she
lonely.
said you're 13,
I should have just left that shit alone, bro. I
when she
really
said
should
she was
have
13, what was probably the best bet to do?
just leave it alone. Yes, sir.
In any situation, anyone who's
Yes, sir.
A minor, right?
Yes, sir.
Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
2 years.
You're asking her, are you a virgin?
Yeah.
Why are you
I
wanting
was
to know
just-
if a 13-year-old? You're 30 years old.
Sir, I'm just asking you questions. On that one, I'm real
So
deal.
can I
I
tell
would
you
just,
something? That's a felony.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
You're sorry.
I don't know
What if you have a daughter one day?
and I plan on having kids one
You
day.
plan on having kids, and then
Let me ask you a question. You got
Okay,
a charge. You got a charge for driving with a kid without a seatbelt. Whose kid was that?
I didn't. That was, bro. I was like 15, 16 then.
It don't matter.
Listen,
Whose kid
I'm,
was it?
hold
Just
on.
asking a
You
question.
asking the question. I'm gonna tell you.
That's right.
Okay, so what happened was I was driving my sister's car, right? And I think I was taking them to their house or to the baby daddy house, one of those two. And they were sitting off to the side, and yes, sir, they kids and music in the car, they bouncing around. You get what I'm saying?
Right. No,
So
the concern was, do
no
you have a
no
kid?
no
That's it.
I'm
He said, "Who
I'm telling you the
cares,
situation.
bro?"
So the kids bouncing around with music and stuff. I'm telling them, hey, sit your ass down, da 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 da, whoop the third. You get what I'm saying? So out of nowhere, sir, they real deal just pulled up, and that's how I got the seatbelt ticket.
Gotcha.
Okay, question. So, and I know you're wanting to rush this and get it going, but I gotta break this down so I can understand what the 30-year-old is doing here
Sir,
and the things you're saying.
okay,
I stay by the corner store, correct?
Yeah,
You do,
yeah,
right?
I stay.
Right?
Yes, I stay.
And then so that you said that, right?
Yes, I do
So,
stay by
but
a
did you
corner
say
store.
that?
Yes, I do stay by a corner
Okay, it's
store.
a yes or no question. Did you
Yes,
say that?
yes.
Okay, so if that's you that said that right after, directly after, in the very same minute,
Mm-hmm.
did you or did you not say, I do want some sloppy wet head too? To a 13-year-old. Am I wrong?
Yes, sir. Yes.
I'm wrong.
No,
See, now you're just yes-manning me.
no, sir. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong because,
So
like
you
I
said
said,
it. And then the same minute you handed your
Yeah,
phone to your
yes.
brother? Or did
Got
you
my
say
No,
yes
no,
or
no.
no?
I would have been
Be honest. This is a
5'5"
crucial
from
time to
fuck.
be honest.
Yes, sir.
Is that you?
That sent that one. That sent that one. Yes, that was probably yes, sir. That would probably be. But hold on. I'm being honest with you. Because my brother does use my account too. You get what I'm
So
saying?
within the same minute,
Listen, I'm.
it was a possibility that your brother texted that?
Yes, sir. It could be. That's all I'm saying.
Tell me, how many other minors have you hooked up with before?
Never,
A couple?
never. I never. And that's on my dead parents, sir.
I mean, that honestly.
Like I
You were
understand
coming
you
here to
might
me
not
with
know.
2 tonight
Shit, I'm
Yes,
being
So
yes,
you
sir.
were gonna start it all your first time ever with 2?
No,
and get them high.
I should never really came.
Well, you're here.
Hey, and here's my next question. You
Okay.
asked, is this you or your brother? Since we're gonna
Okay.
gonna throw this imaginary
No, for real.
your brother in here.
Mhm.
Can you squirt or cream, baby? You
I
asked
was
a
just-
13-year-old that?
Yes, sir. I did ask that.
Why were you
It's
interested if a 13-year-old could do that?
I was just asking, sir.
I know,
I
but
be
a
into
minor?
I be into.
That's
the
I don't
right
care
thing.
what you're into, but with a minor,
Yes, sir.
a
I'm
child.
Look here, bro.
I mean, I know you're like. What if
Okay,
we
no,
could have been
no.
we could have been older brothers, not here
I
with
know.
cameras.
Yeah, I understand you. I understand. I
What
totally
would you have
understand.
done if it was one of your siblings or one of your cousins?
To be honest, I can say one thing, sir. Like I'm being honest, I can say one thing, but if I see it, you get what I'm saying. It could be totally different.
All right,
But
so let me go back to this. All right, you planned on staying the night with the 13-year-old, correct? That's why you Ubered here for an hour and a half. Yes or no? Don't lie. If you lie, this is gonna go, and then it's gonna end up really bad for you. But if you be honest, I'm gonna say thank you for being honest. But you're not. But you haven't really been honest.
Yes,
You've been lying a lot. So I'm gonna ask some more questions. I'm gonna ask you a question. You wanted to stay the night at her house, right?
I did.
Okay,
But
you did.
listen,
End of story. You did, right?
Listen,
I'm not letting you talk because you're just lying. If I heard
No,
the
I
truth,
didn't.
I would let you talk.
I'm telling you, but after
Was this you or your brother?
yeah.
I want to watch you take a shower, baby.
Nah, that that was not me. I promise, that was not me. But like
you
I was
asked her
saying,
if she creamed and
That sound
squirted,
like
that was you.
how
Yes,
you a
sir.
little kid. Your parents said who did it,
That,
not me.
I'm trying
that
to
makes
give you
no
the.
sense.
I mean,
But like I said,
Have you ever creamed before? You cream a lot.
Hey, I just asking questions.
But right after before that was I want to watch it shower. So that was your brother, and then he handed you the phone. You guys were going back and forth with the 13-year-old. Is that what you were saying?
I'm not saying that because like
what
I
you
said,
saying,
he
folks?
does use it. He does use my account, sir. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that I said that one or he did. You get what I'm saying, sir? That's all I'm saying. I'm trying to give you the honest answers.
That's the honest answers, right?
Yes, and to answer your hold on to answer your other
so you
question.
Ubered an hour and a half here to see a 13-year-old.
Yes, sir. It doesn't
Right?
matter. Yes. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hello. How you doing?
What's going on this evening?
Well, you explain to him. What are you doing here?
It's GG.
To be honest, I was trying to meet somebody, but to be honest with y'all, I didn't really feel. Oh, excuse me. I didn't really feel comfortable. Yes, I was talking. I'm being honest. Yes, I was talking. But once I got here, I
How far did you travel to get here?
traveled a minute. That's
Hour and a half
An
with
hour and a half.
drugs for a 13-year-old.
So, hold on. You tell me to
You
talk
said a
again.
minute because that's a lie.
Where are you from?
I'm St. Louis County, madam.
You got your license on you?
Yes,
Registration?
ma'am.
All,
Yes.
all that stuff?
Yes, ma'am.
Where's your car?
I don't have a car, ma'am.
How'd you get here?
I got Uber, dude. Oh, Lord, please don't tell me I left at the Uber. My wallet in my Uber. Please don't tell me. I really thought I found it. Yes, I don't have it. I can give you my name.
Search you?
Ma'am, I do have things on me.
Do you mind if we search you? That's it. That's all we asking. Is yes or no?
It's GG.
Apparently, yes. I don't.
Yes?
Hold
Okay.
on. Put my stuff right here.
Okay.
My hands right here. I do have. That's it. I must have.
All right. We asked you to search your pockets, and that's what we're doing. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have
said
anything
yes.
that's gonna prick me that I need to know about?
No, ma'am. There's nothing that's going to poke you. I'm being
It's
honest.
GG.
I do have a little weed on me. I'm gonna be honest.
Cuz got bandages.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yo.
Just wait 5 seconds.
Yo. Mm.
No, that's not mine.
No, I get it.
This is pocket.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
my
That's the only thing I'm at.
What about the Molly you said you had?
I don't have any.
You said you had it.
Can I hold on?
Put your palms together.
Just listen
give
to
us a
her,
second.
and then we'll talk. Okay? You're just being detained right now. That's all.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I was just asking. All two people.
Just give us a second.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Who that nigga in the back? Cuz Walmart security. Cuz Walmart
Have you sit on
security.
this corner right here?
Cuz I think he doing something. Look at him. You
Get all
see
your
him in the back.
location. Go ahead and sit. Go ahead and sit. You good? I won't let you fall. There you go.
Funny as hell.
I'll spend it for you. Let me know when you're ready. Let me know when you're ready. I'll spend it for you. Yes, ma'am. Let me know. I'll spend it for you.
What's your
I
name?
mean, ma'am. I'm sorry.
What's your name?
Rashad. It's spelled RASH.
AGG. I'm gonna cover the
To your
portal
right.
too.
Can you please stop recording me now?
RAS. They have every right to record.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
RASH.
AAD.
Okay.
2A and G.
Okay. All right. What's your middle initial?
I have two middle names.
Okay. What is it?
Yes, ma'am.
communities about the potential dangers that children may face online, and to provide insight on those who may cause these dangers. It's important to note that the individuals depicted in this video are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and should not be harassed or harmed based on their actions as depicted in this video. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Yo, Jonathan. What's up, man? How are you? How's it going, Jonathan? You know all your information. You know everything. You know where you live. You know your work. I mean, the problem is you're chatting with a 13-year-old for over 2 months. Okay. Knowing that, right? Correct?
Yeah. Saying hello.
Saying hello?
Yep.
I mean, I think that's appropriate.
Not the smartest thing ever now.
That's how he blocked him off
No.
with the buggy.
13 years
So
old.
he only got a one way to get up out of there. He got to go past the cameraman, but I'm pretty sure he got somebody waiting.
Nice.
If not,
I just want to say hello.
I'm gonna
I mean,
subscribe.
is this your first time talking to a 13-year-old?
Oh, your boy.
It is, yeah. Just want to say hello.
Show taps in
Say
the
hi
ass.
back.
That was it?
Yeah, I'm gonna taps in the ass.
For 2 months? That's all that you said?
Always talked about stuff in general. Yeah.
500 messages.
I guess so.
2
Yeah,
months.
I haven't been counting, but something like it.
I mean, you call her Bae. You're calling a 13-year-old
Told her,
Bae.
she said that's what her nickname was. She said it was Tay-Bay, Taylor. So I just call her that.
Calling her Boo, Bae. Like, do you think that stuff's a 13-year-old? You know, in this world, one of the biggest things right now with kids and children and people in general is trafficking, human trafficking. And that's what you could have been doing tonight. And thank God we showed up and not a real 13-year-old. Because I think that's pretty much bullshit that you're going to walk around and have a conversation with a 13-year-old. Does that make your stomach turn to think about?
Ugly as hell.
Are you a child predator?
Not at all.
You're acting like one.
No.
You showed up at a Walmart to meet a 13-year-old.
You drove
at
45
nighttime.
minutes.
I didn't.
What if a 13-year-old had showed up tonight?
Then I would have said hello and walked away.
Cap.
I would have said hello, said hi to her, walked away. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
So 2 months of talking and 45-minute drive, you would have said hello,
Walked
goodbye.
around, walked around for a few minutes. said
Walked
hello,
around and did
goodbye.
what?
She said she wanted to buy a dog collar, walk around, get the dog collar, leave.
Yeah, I got the dog collar.
I know. That's it. That's what I thought I was gonna do. That's it.
So you're telling me on a Saturday night, 31-year-old man, you drove 45 minutes. Are you kidding me?
Man.
Like, you think this is a mistake?
A lap.
This is 2 felonies.
I think we should.
This is more than a.
I think we should go outside, read some of the chat logs, and have the conversation out there.
Yeah, you're lucky it's us, and we're not immediately. Think if it would have been the parent.
Oh, not you. Not you. Okay, well, can you stand?
Can you imagine? It was an older brother and wasn't with the camera. Yeah, I think the best bet is to walk outside. I want you to explain a couple of these chat logs, and I want to see your honesty before I let you know if we're gonna turn this in or not. Come on.
They can't do shit but walk. Felt like he wanna
2 felonies.
skedaddle.
How did you get the nickname Nathan, Jonathan?
Tell y'all, hire me.
Just a shortened version of
We'll
John.
see how fast.
I've never heard that in my life.
I know y'all be
Jonaphan.
Right.
Nathan's Nathan.
Yeah.
in Walmart.
But I just never heard that.
A mistake is not turning the light off when you leave the house. A mistake is
Trying to get
something
a hair
juvenile.
style.
This ain't a mistake. Thank you.
In Florida.
The cameras here are just for your protection and ours, just a reminder.
As soon as a cop would come, the evidence in you being here alone is all they would need, just so you understand how that would work if we wanted to pursue that. But I want to hear you be honest and be open, because no one makes a mistake for 2 months.
Cause Steph, look how stiff he walking. He got some up in the air.
I mean, like, do you understand our frustration?
Absolutely. Look, I do understand the frustration, the anger.
I mean, what should be the punishment for someone to come luring a minor off the internet? What do you think? Tell me.
I didn't.
Do you think
that
Police pull up, bro.
when she asked me if
I
wanted
brush.
to, where we were gonna go, I thought, okay, I was just going to meet a friend at a public place. I understand being friendly with someone. I didn't.
It's one of these chat logs up. You gotta go slower on the iPad. Will glitch out.
So no, keep on what you're saying. You what?
I thought that meeting someone that I was talking to in a public place just to say hello, I didn't
Just helping promote
think
the
that it was illegal. I thought
Shit,
that it was a stupid lapse in judgment, and that it's something I shouldn't probably do. But I didn't think that it was going to cause harm to somebody in particular. I didn't think. I wasn't coming here to cause any harm to anyone. I wasn't coming here to like
that. But if it led to something more, say it did. Say whatever you're. Okay.
I'll hear you out.
That's harm to a child.
No, of course. I don't want.
I mean, you're telling me this, but
I don't want anything harmful to happen to anybody.
You're talking to a 13-year-old, telling her she has a nice smile, nice hair, a nice face.
Calling her bae.
Calling her
She
boo.
told her to call me. She said,
I don't care what a 13-year-old tells you. They can't consent to anything.
Okay, you're right. So
you're a grown man, dude.
That's right. You're right.
But why is it taking us to confronting you and catching you in this moment to making you understand, making you feel sorry, making you...
I felt inappropriate while I was doing it. I knew that it wasn't correct to do.
Do you have a problem?
So...
Yeah, are you attracted to children?
Oh, no, not at all.
So then
why are you meeting a 13-year-old?
Because I just wanted to say hello.
I mean,
didn't wanna...
so you post a picture of a nude girl in your bed, in a group chat,
yeah.
And then you say...
To make sure that she didn't. I said, did you see that? And I was like,
was directing you towards it, corrupting the youth. What do you mean, what? That's you.
What does that mean?
That was
another mistake?
That was a mistake, yeah. That was a up on my part.
If I didn't just pull that up, you're about to just tell me that I was hoping she didn't see it, but then you just said I'm directing you towards it. Corrupting the youth.
I forgot about that, yeah.
Pedophile.
Look.
What do you mean you forgot about it?
I forgot about that I sent that. It was late at night. I think the timestamp was super late. I sent it, and I was just forgot that I had said it. Around.
Bitch, not 1906.
I mean, I just don't understand. I'm 28 years old, and I've been in plenty of dark places where
I've had low points in life, and I've never thought about talking to a 13-year-old. I thought that talking to a 13-year-old was okay. It's never crossed my mind. So that's why we ask you again, do you have problems? Or you have attraction towards children?
No.
Do you need help?
I don't believe
You don't need help.
I don't.
So then what, do you need to go to jail?
No, I don't think so.
So
I don't believe I need to go to jail.
So you don't believe any, like, you think
I made a mistake, absolutely.
A mistake.
I really made a mistake.
Hi guys.
Hey, how you doing?
What's going on?
Well, this.
Let him explain.
Yeah, let him tell you what he's doing here.
I was talking to someone online, and they were underage, and they asked if I wanted to come and meet them to hang out, to say hello, and I just thought I would come and say hello,
And you drove 45 minutes.
I didn't come to meet them. I came to meet them.
Okay.
How long have you been talking to the 13-year-old?
About 2 months, probably.
And you know luring a minor off the internet is illegal, correct?
I did not know.
You're a grown ass,
I thought
man.
that talking to someone was talking to someone.
How old are you?
32.
I mean, are you like exchanging pictures with this person?
Regular ones, and then I sent a few other photos, yeah.
Of what?
Of a woman in underwear.
And what did you say about that photo specifically?
I said that I
try and direct this towards you because I'm corrupting the youth. Bro, I have godchildren. No.
Do you have your ID on you by any chance?
And he went by Nathan L. in the chat room. His real name is Jonathan.
From
West Palm Beach. He drove all the way out here.
All right, you mind just taking a seat real fast for me?
Should we go over here?
Yeah, you mind just hanging out with him? Can you hang out with him?
I would.
How you doing, officer?
Whoever's gonna talk to me over here.
Okay.
Hold that.
Good. Yeah, sure. Just don't push the button in the back.
Yep.
DG. Thomas.
Like I said, a mistake is leaving the door open, leaving the light on. This ain't a mistake. You don't make a mistake for 2 months. You don't drive 45 minutes making a mistake. Telling the minor, don't tell your mom. Like, we were just at the police station today we had one last night, we turned in 7 of them.
I've seen the Instagram.
Yeah, James, yeah, he's my guy.
I'll be right back. I gotta check some.
For that reason, we think that it was deliberate. It is highly prejudicial. This jury has been tainted, and we move for a mistrial. Oh, there's one more thing.
And you can talk to the witness and see if he can, authenticate.
And look at all the videos and images of
to get before this jury. sort of pick apart the evidence and seek to exclude whatever points of evidence that the prosecution is looking to put forth before the jury, so they can't connect those dots. What do you think with this piece of evidence? What do you think the goal is for the defense with this particular piece of evidence? And do you think if they are able to get it excluded, that's going to be a significant,
because slip up? I've seen very, very good lawyers become, friendly with their clients or have a rapport with their clients, which we need to have. But the courtroom ain't the place for it. Go talk to them at the jail if you want to laugh. So it has nothing to do with their gender. It has nothing to do with anything nefarious. That is severe. You are not sitting in a place.
He's not lying. She like she wanted a name. Lick me out of the up, boy. I think I had a One Piece. I know somebody ain't watched that, man. Oh shit, we just seen that. Ooh. Hell no. What time is it? Ooh, my wife don't care, man.
We know you're hovering over that button, but we need your help. We have a better button, we promise. Right on time. Not bright enough?
Growing up, me and my family lived in a sketchy neighborhood, mostly because my parents were poor and had to do multiple jobs and provide for 3 kids. I was the youngest and the only daughter. When I was about 6 years old, my dad passed away in a car crash. This left my mom with a
ugly. I don't know what the hell this is. You look just like your mama, and
huge responsibility of taking care of the kids all alone. She was working her ass off to put food on the table, just so we could have at least one meal every day. My eldest brother Martin was 12, and the other one, Max, was 9. After Dad's passing, many of our neighbors started showing more support towards our family. Mrs. Ingram, who lived a few houses away, always offered to babysit us whenever there was no one to look after me and my brothers. Some of the neighborhoods called us for cookouts or even brought food to our place occasionally. Everyone except Mr. Hutton. Mr. Charles Hutton was our next-door neighbor. He was in his 70s.
Get your mans.
Really uncomfortable, and she tried to keep me as far away from him as possible. As Mom used to work all day, the only time she got to do our laundry was in the late evening. We did not have a dryer, so she put our clothes on a clothesline in our backyard. Day after day, a few clothing items started going missing. It would be mine or Mom's underwear, her bras, and some of our other clothes too. Mom had no idea who was doing it, so every time we dried our clothes, it was a possibility they would be stolen. But Mom had other more important things to take care of. As the months went by, Mr. Hutton grew more and more weird. He used to make uncomfortable comments whenever Mom returned or left for work. Mom always ignored him, but once, when Mom and I were going grocery shopping, Mr. Hutton crossed the line.
Brenda, looking good today. And so is your little girl. Why don't you leave her with me so we can play with each other?
His dirty underlying message snapped something in my mom. She let me stand on the sidewalk and walked up to him on his porch. Charles, one more word about my daughter and I will call the cops. You have been harassing me for months now, but do not test me. You go near my daughter, let alone you look at her, and I will scrape your eyeballs out of that old skull of yours. With that said, she grabbed my hand and left. That was the first time I had seen my mom be so aggressive and strong. I admired her for her bravery. Months passed, and after that, Mr. Hutton, or should I say Charles, never looked at us or said anything to us. Our clothes, too, did not disappear anymore. This confirmed my mother's suspicion that Charles was doing it. For the first time in months, everything seemed okay after Dad's death. We had finally learned to manage to live in his absence. That did not mean we did not miss him, but things were happy again in our household. One night, when Mom had just put us three to bed and was heading to bed herself, she heard a knock on our front door. Living in a shitty neighborhood had taught us to never open the door when we heard a knock at night. At least, not until you confirm who is outside. "Hey, who is it?" Mom yelled. But there was no reply. Mom waited by the door to see if there was another knock, but 20 minutes passed and we did not hear another knock. Mom blamed it on a raccoon or a kid trying to prank us, and goes to sleep. The next day around the same time, we hear a knock again. Only this time, instead of asking who it was, Mom went to a window adjacent to the door and peeked through the slit in the curtains. No one stood on our porch, and besides the dim porch lamp, it was dark outside. This time, we knew it wasn't an animal. Rather, someone was doing this on purpose. She made sure all the windows were locked and then went to bed. The knocking continued for several weeks, and every time we did not catch the culprit. It was as scary as it was annoying. However, everything changed one rainy night. Mom had picked up a new job as a storekeeper and returned home pretty late, which meant we kids were home alone or Miss Ingram was looking after us. That night, me and my brothers were up when Mom came home around 11 p.m. She was drenched from head to toe and looked exhausted. Although we were doing well, it was only because our mom worked herself to the bones. "I'm back, kids. What are you guys up to so late?" "We don't have school tomorrow, so we are watching Jurassic Park," I said. "Okay, but you have to go to bed soon. And did Miss Ingram feed you dinner?" "Yeah, Mom. We are full, and she left some for you in the fridge," I replied. "That's so nice of hers. You guys enjoy. I'll grab dinner." Once Mom had dinner and we were settled in bed, we heard the knock again. For the past months, we were ignoring the knocks, so this time, too, we did not pay it any attention. Until there was another knock. "Enough of this bullshit! Who is this?" Mom yelled. No reply. "You've been tormenting my family for months now, and you never show your face, coward." This time, whoever it was banged on the door. Mom checked all the windows and then walked into our room. "Kids, I want you to be brave. Do not get scared, and do not leave this room at any cost, okay?" "Yes, Mom," we all replied. The banging continued as the rain poured outside. "Who are you? Answer me!" Mom yelled once again. But this time, not only did the banging continue, but someone was trying to pick our lock too. The situation was quickly escalating, and if Mom did not act quickly, it would get ugly soon. "Martin, come here, boy," she called for my brother. "Take my phone and call 911 now. Tell them what's going on and ask them to hurry." My brother took the phone and began calling the cops. Meanwhile, My mom rushed to her room and grabbed a gun that belonged to my dad. She loaded it and returned to the front door. The lock was still jiggling, and someone was trying to break in. I have a gun, so back off. If you step in, I am going to shoot you. This got the attention of the intruder, and everything stopped for a second. We thought maybe the person left, but not a minute later, the banging continued, and this time the intruder was furious. My mother's hands were shaking, pointing the pistol at the door, but she was there to protect her kids. Soon, we could hear sirens in the distance, and we were relieved. However, the intruder heard the sirens too and ran away. Within a few minutes, we could hear the cops calling out to us, search the full perimeter around our house, and then ask us to open the door. Considerable damage was done to the door's lock.
Ma'am, did you see the attacker?
The officer asked. No, but it's been going on for a while. She told the cops all that had happened before.
Ma'am, by any chance, do you have a barbed wire?
I have kids running around the house, officer, so not a chance.
Because this is what we found in the backyard.
The officer had half a meter of barbed wire in his hand, stained with mud. Oh my God. My mom was shocked.
Plus, whoever this was likely a man, and he was wearing boots, judging by the muddy footprints on your porch. The footprints led out of your backyard and disappear. Do you know who it might be?
Well, for the past few months, our old neighbor was acting vulgar. He made lewd comments about me and my daughter. Maybe it was him. He also stole our clothes.
Ma'am, don't worry. We will investigate that. For the night, one of our officers will be stationed at your door, and our cars will patrol the area too. We will look for new evidence when it's daylight.
Saying that, the cops left. The next day, while investigating, the cops found some damage done to the window of my room too, as if someone had tried to break in through it. Being the primary suspect, Mr. Hutton's home was searched, and they found the old boot, our stolen clothes, and some lock-picking instruments. It was clear that he was the intruder and was arrested. He told the cops that he had planned to strangle my mother with barbed wire and then abduct me. To this day, I thank my mom for being smart and not opening the door that night.
Nancy was sitting in her garden. I just happened to be in the garden, so I went over and introduced myself. She was terribly nervous and shaking. "So, is it a baby brother or sister?" I asked innocently. She stared at me time and did not answer. She then turned and went back inside. So, night, I was woken up by a terrible screeching and crying, seemingly from a newborn baby. My parents also woke up, and after several minutes, my parents decided to go over to see what was going on. When my parents returned, there
Honey, let them be. They don't want us to interfere in their matters, so just forget it.
we sat at the dining table puzzling over this news, as the cries could still be heard faintly and eerily. This went on for the next few days, until one night all three of them packed into the car and drove off. I was chatting with a friend online about the whole saga later that night, and he told me to go and investigate. And so I did investigate. Holding my phone with me, I crept out and jumped the fence. Even though I was alone, I felt safer with my friend on the phone with me. Surprisingly, the back door was unlocked. My heart was beating 100 miles a second. I turned on the light, then made my way through the house. My skin was crawling as there was an air of unease, maybe even evil, as I went from room to room. Then the crying started up. The hairs on the back of my neck pricked up, but I had to keep exploring. It seemed I nearly fainted when I opened the door and saw a row of specimen jars filled with many embryos. My mind raced with questions laced with horror and dread. Some of them were tied up with a string. I had noticed that the crying had stopped and that the basement was deathly quiet until one of them moved. I screamed as I watched one fetus open its eyes, which seemed to trigger the crying again. I bolted in fear. My friend had gone offline as I raced back home. I started sweating out of fear because that sight was very scary. It seemed that he was not a child, but a ghost. I tried to speak, but my voice would not utter words. I quickly turned and started coming out of the basement. Then there was the sound of the basement door opening, and I quickly hid behind a curtain. I was trapped in the basement. I quickly took out my phone and messaged my father and told him everything. Then I saw Mr. and Mrs. Wheeler there, and they took a woman with her hands and feet bound and her mouth taped. The woman was in a state of half-consciousness. Mr. and Mr. Wheeler were holding the woman. That woman was pregnant. Nancy was also there. Said,
"Put it down here on the ground. We don't have time."
"You do all the preparations. When you're finished, I'll untie her legs."
All right. Nancy, you come over here to the side and see everything. After some time, you will also have to do all this. Okay, Mommy.
I was confused as to what he was going to do with that woman. In no time, Mrs. Wheeler brought some medical tools and water. I understood what they were going to do. They were preparing to take out that woman's unborn child. Mrs. Wheeler said,
"Lest it happens that her child dies in the womb."
In no time, I saw that unborn child come out. I felt like I was in some sort of hell. My condition was getting worse as I began crying. The woman had fainted, and it was quiet in the basement. Then they heard my cry, and all three of them started laughing. Mr. Wheeler came up to me and grabbed me by the hair and pushed me down. Mr. Wheeler said, "You came here, but you will never go back. You made a mistake, kid." "You're filthy! You're disgusting! You'll be punished for this!" Mrs. Wheeler exclaimed.
This is our profession, and hobby, too. This is what we do, but now what to do with you? Can't understand anything.
Mr. Wheeler said, If we leave him alive, he'll expose us. We must kill him.
But we can't do murders like that. It's not our business.
But we have no choice now.
There's a solution. Cut off his tongue and his hands too, so that he can neither speak nor write.
Very good idea. You are very intelligent, my love. Mwah. I was crying, screaming, and seeing death in front of me. Then Mr. Wheeler came up to me with a knife in his hand and forcibly opened my mouth and pulled my tongue out with his hand. He was about to cut my tongue when the basement door opened with a loud noise and everyone got scared. A lot of policemen were coming towards me, running from the door, and my father was also there. Actually, he had read my message. Had he been 1 second later, everything would have been over. Well, I could not save that woman's child, but that woman was alive, and so was I.
And I loved living with her, but there was something I enjoyed even more, and that was staying with her old neighbor, Lady Cassie. I know stereotypically old people are seen as boring individuals who stay inside knitting all day, but Lady Cassie was very different. She was an agile, interesting woman who was into a lot of things, and since I didn't have anyone my age living around the neighborhood that I could talk to, I always found myself having conversations with Lady Cassie, and talking to her was great. Her house was decorated with skin pelts, as she told me her husband was a dedicated hunter who had hunted every animal known to man. Now, even at a young age, I knew this statement was far-fetched, but I let it slide as her husband was dead and I didn't want to speak ill of the dead. During one of my occasional visits to her place, after we had talked for a while, I asked Lady Cassie if I could go to the bathroom. On my way back to the living room, I noticed a room with its door slightly ajar, and I walked in to see something odd. It was filled with what seemed to be skin pelts, and while some were on display decorating the walls of the room, others were used to design book covers and other things. I then heard the words,
"They're beautiful, aren't they?"
And I turned to see Lady Cassie walking into the room. She then continued with,
"My husband brought them home from a hunting trip, and he never told me what animal he got the pelt from."
As she spoke, I realized that I, too, couldn't guess what animal it was from, as the look and the texture of the pelt felt different. After looking around for a while, we left the room and we began to talk about it, as Lady Cassie always had some great stories to tell. After a long afternoon and numerous interesting conversations, I finally decided to leave. Lady Cassie walked me out of the house, and as we were on her front porch, I noticed a shady, lanky man walking down the street. It was one of our neighbors, who everyone called Shady Jeremy, as the man never spoke. He also had a really scary aura around him that made people generally avoid him. Lady Cassie noticed me looking at the man, so she said,
"Stay away from that man, Matt. Some neighbors are meant to be avoided."
I then quickly replied with, "You don't need to tell me twice." After that, I said my goodbyes, and I quickly headed home. It was a bit strange, but when I arrived at my doorstep, I could feel someone staring at me. My eyes started to dart around, and it didn't take long before I noticed Shady Jeremy standing on his front porch and staring at me intensely. It seemed like his eyes were trying to tell me something, but I wasn't waiting to find out. Scared now, I rushed into my aunt's house and locked the door. It was really difficult to sleep that night, as all I could see was Shady Jeremy staring at me every time I closed my eyes. The next day, My aunt told me that I would be going back to the city during the following week to stay with my mom, as things had finally settled down between her and my dad. She then told me to get my things in order, as I'd be leaving soon. That afternoon, I went to Lady Cassie's house to tell her the news. She wasn't in her living room, but I could tell she was still at home as her front door was open, so I let myself in. When I had finally settled down, I noticed a diary that was decorated with a special pelt I had seen in that room. It was sitting on the table next to me, so I picked it up and started to admire it. Curious, I opened the book to read what was inside, but that's when I heard Lady Cassie say,
"Each pelt is more beautiful than the last. I really need to collect more."
Confused, I wondered what she meant by that, as I knew she couldn't get any new pelts without her husband. But I quickly ignored it, as I told myself that it was probably just an old lady mumbling to herself. Besides, I was there for another reason, as I came to tell her I was leaving soon. The look on her face was a mixture of sadness and disappointment, as Lady Cassie said,
"That's very sad to hear, Matt. You're the only person here who's enough to visit and talk to me. I hope this isn't too much to ask, but I'd love it if you could come over tonight so that we can have one of our amazing conversations just one last time."
I immediately agreed, as I wanted to see her one last time before I left. On my way home, I didn't realize it yet, but the news of my leaving made me forget about the shady Jeremy incident that had happened the day before. I had started walking with caution ever since it happened, but at that moment the only thing that was on my mind was my abrupt departure. After dinner that evening, I made my way down the street to Lady Cassie's house, and as I was nearing the front porch, I felt a strong hand immediately ran towards Lady Cassie's house. I quickly entered the house, and I slammed the door, breathing hard. I then started to scream. "Lady Cassie, please call the cops. Shady Jeremy just attacked me." Nothing but silence responded to my pleas, and that's when I finally realized that something was wrong. This was now completely dark, and it was lit with strange candles. Before I could do or say anything, I heard Lady Cassie's voice say,
"You have been given the privilege to be the ultimate beast, and for that I promise I will only hunt you for 30 minutes. Bear in mind, child, that you have the right to run and defend your privilege. If you win, I will spare you, but if you lose, I'll take what makes you beautiful."
Confused and afraid, I racked my brain hoping to find a feasible explanation for what was going on. I didn't understand a single word Lady Cassie had just said, and I was still shaken up from being attacked by Shady Jeremy. It took me a while before I managed to stutter the words. "What the hell is going on, Lady Cassie?" But before I could get an answer, I felt a sharp pain sear through my arm. I fell to the floor, writhing and screaming in pain. I looked down to see the cause of the pain, and that's when I saw an arrow sticking out of my arm. Before I could do anything about it, I saw Lady Cassie lunge at me wearing an African-themed mask, and she was holding a machete in her right hand. I managed to dodge the attack before running away. I then frantically looked for an exit out of the house. I quickly headed for the back door, and I ran out through there. In front of me was nothing but the forest, and with no other options, I decided to run into it. As I ran through the forest, I heard Lady Cassie scream out what seemed to be a war cry. I felt my heart beating fast, and as I looked behind me, I saw a 60-year-old woman bolting after me like she was in her 20s. It didn't take long before she caught up to me, and with no hesitation, she brought her machete's blade down on my shoulder. Immeasurable pain filled me as I fell to the floor. Lady Cassie loomed over me now, and I could hear her breathing hard through her mask. A lot of emotions ran through my head as I watched her lift the bloody machete to land the finishing blow. I felt fear, pain, and anger, but the major thing I was feeling was confusion, as even in those horrific moments, I had no idea why I was consecutively attacked by both of my neighbors. I made my peace with God as I watched Lady Cassie bring down her machete, but before the blade could connect with my neck, I heard a gunshot, and I watched Lady Cassie slowly drop to her feet. Numerous people rushed towards me as I breathed a sigh of relief. I had lost a lot of blood now, but I managed to see what was going on, and standing over me were my aunt, the cops, and Shady Jeremy. I was taken to the hospital after the morbid incident, and my wounds were treated. When I felt a little bit better, I asked my aunt how she found me, and she told me that our neighbor, Jeremy, had come to the house and how he was aggressively gesturing towards Lady Cassie's house. She then explained how she finally knew something was wrong, as Jeremy proceeded to write the words, "Your nephew is in trouble," on a piece of paper, and that's when she called the cops. It was then I realized that our neighbor Jeremy couldn't speak, as he was dumb. A lot of things made sense to me after I was told that, like what happened in front of Lady Cassie's house. I really didn't know he couldn't speak, as I always thought he just didn't want to. After a couple of weeks, I was taken back home. The incident with Lady Cassie had been on the news, and my aunt told me that I had just survived a huge, ritualistic serial killer. The cops had revealed to her that Lady Cassie had murdered and flayed several human beings, as numerous pelts of human skin were found at her house. That's when I had a horrific realization, as I finally knew that the skin pelts I couldn't identify were human. I was also told that she carried out the same ritualistic 30-minute hunt with all of her victims, and how she skinned, preserved, and made human pelts of all the people who lost. Things began to die down after a couple of months, and I remember going back to my aunt's house and speaking with Mr. Jeremy. I apologized for...
Are those black people? That's black skin, bro.
Something was wrong, as Jeremy proceeded to write the words, "Your nephew is in trouble," on a piece of paper, and that's when she called the cops. It was then I realized that our neighbor Jeremy couldn't speak, as he was dumb. A lot of things made sense to me after I was told that, like what happened in front of Lady Cassie's house. I really didn't know he couldn't speak, as I always thought he just didn't want to. After a couple of weeks, I was taken...
Do not go to fabletters.com. Do not take our historically low offer. 2 for 24 shorts, 1 for $24, plus...
taken back home. The incident with Lady Cassie had been on the news, and my aunt told me that I had just survived a huge, ritualistic serial killer. The cops had revealed to her that Lady Cassie had murdered and flayed several human beings, as numerous pelts of human skin were found at her house. That's when I had a horrific realization, as I finally knew that the skin pelts I couldn't identify were human. I was also told that she carried out the same ritualistic 30-minute hunt with all of her victims, and how she skinned, preserved, and made human pelts of all the people who lost. Things began to die down after a couple of months, and I remember going back to my aunt's house and speaking with Mr. Jeremy. I apologized for misjudging him, and I thanked him for saving my life. I then asked him how he knew what Lady Cassie was going to do, and Mr. Jeremy then revealed that he too was a victim who had survived Lady Cassie's attack. He wrote all the details on a piece of paper and explained how he had survived the 30-minute hunt. It also said how she had let him keep his skin, but to keep him from talking, she morbidly cut his tongue out, and she threatened to kill his family if he said anything. He was too scared to talk after his own horrific experience, so he decided to avoid everything and everyone. But he couldn't stand by when he saw me going there that night, as he knew something was up and he didn't want me to die, so he did something about it. I ended up staying in touch with Jeremy even after I went back home, and while I had some serious trauma due to the ordeal, talking to him helped me get through it. It's been a very long time now since it happened, but this morbid experience is...
How you gonna talk to him if you can't talk back? Piss me off. See y'all in the morning.